Hey there, welcome to or welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name is Richard and today I'm coming to you from Savannah, Georgia. And I'm coming to you today with something a little bit different. Savannah, Georgia is known for having ghost tours that you could take during the day. But at night, they have a ghost pub crawl. Yes, a ghost pub crawl. We are going to be doing a pub crawl all over Savannah for the next few hours. And it starts right here at Churchill's with this guy right here. Now, of note, you can walk with an open container in all of downtown Savannah. CAN. It's an entertainment district. The tour guide just compared it to New Orleans, which I will tell you, it is January 1st, 2025, so probably not the best comparison in the world, but I'm going to take you along for this haunted pub crawl. I'm drinking, what is this, dihydrogen monoxide right now. Oh, the deadliest drink. Why? Because I'm still hydrating. But it is time to get going on the haunted pub crawl, I think. So this is our guide, and I'll be showing you what's going on. As of January 1st, 2025, this is $30 per person. I don't think it includes any drinks per se, but it's more just the history and the haunts and all that, and you buy your own drinks. So don't think of it like an $80 food tour, but I'll let you know if it's any different. There's a group of like 22 people that are right here for the tour right now. I'm going to wait for the guide to start. I'm going to step off the street myself, and I think it's going to be time for a bit of a spooky good time. Also, of note, I hate to say of note, it is very hard to find parking down here unless you're staying in a hotel down here, so you might want to Uber. I am staying at the Inn on 17, which is a $41 a night motel that looks like it's out of the Bates Hotel, which kind of works with the spooky thing, because I'm going back to Norman Bates Hotel right after this. So, stay tuned. Don't worry, this will change from water soon. I already had a drink or two in there. Come along for a spooky good time.
Glad to hear. First time people here? First time in Savannah? A whole lot of you guys, man. All right. And first time haunted pub crawl?
Yep. Yes.
There we go. Oh man, pretty much all of you. Well, welcome. My name is Bobby. I'm your tour guide for Ghost City Tours. I got a little bit of a housekeeping spiel to give you guys, and then we can talk about why we are in these creepy vaults. Sound good? Fantastic. All right. Things to know about Savannah. Some of you guys have already figured it out. It seems like most of you have. We are an open container state. We're an open container city. That means as long as you are within downtown Savannah and your drink's in a plastic cup, you can walk around with alcohol. It's pretty awesome. Don't go outside of downtown with that because you will absolutely get a ticket and none of y'all want to pay that. Trust me. All right. We are also a city with some uneven footing, things like that, and this is a walking tour. We're going to be going about a mile. You let me know if I'm moving too fast or things like that. Right? You'd be surprised that people show up with boots and a lot of high heels.
She's gonna crawl the whole time.
But yeah, so please watch your step, guys, and don't get hurt. One of the more important things, there is only one of me and a whole mess of you guys. That's a whole lot of faces. So I cannot possibly keep track of every single one of you, so I gotta give you guys a job, which is keep track of me. Now, I do not like to rush people. If you guys are in a bar, I'm going to give you a set amount of time to be in there, but if you have people in there using the bathroom, getting a drink, paying a tab, just send one of your group members out to tell me, because otherwise I won't know, guys. There are so many of you here, it will be genuinely hard to notice. Alright, Ghost City Tours is a point of pride, because we have our own in-house fact checkers, historical, forget the word for accurate.
Historians? Yeah.
But we have our own historians and our own in-house fact checkers, meaning that this is not a how many people trash can and ooh kind of ghost tour. It's not really what we're about. No, what I have to tell you guys tonight is all backed by historical logs, shipping logs, historical journal entries, which I think makes it all a lot creepier. But that means you have to rock with me because I got to talk to you about some history so we can get to our haunts. There's also, again, a whole lot of you guys. And as with every tour with this many people, I suspect that we're all here for slightly different reasons. Some of us are here because we're super into ghosts, and we're super into history, and we're only going to drink like a little smidge, and you want to hear literally every word that comes out of my mouth. Absolutely. Just make sure that you are in like an inner ring, pretty much. if you are here to get hammered, take pictures, and have a blast, I'm also rocking with you. Just make sure that you're not forcing someone out who's not going to enjoy that type of night, you know? All right. That all out of the way, a few getting to know me things. I am freshly 21 as of this year. I did all 4 years of my undergrad here, so who better to tell you guys what bars to go to in this city? All right. The other thing, y'all can look at me, you can tell I don't exactly like to run.
Also, cheers.
There we go. Yeah, good rule of thumb on a ghost tour, guys. If you see me running, run. And a little faster than me. Come on, guys. I know most of you can do it. If you are a person that is wanting to nurse your one drink all night, that's all you're doing, that's the life you're living, don't waste your money. Don't throw out your drink when you go in between bars. We do not care. You can bring a drink from Churchill's in PS Tavern, no one's going to say boo about it. So if that's you, you want your one drink, that's what you're content with, don't waste your money. Keep it all night. Really enjoy that. Sound good, guys? Yep. All right. Let me talk to you about these vaults. So, these are the McCluskey vaults. They were built in 1842 as storage. Because that road right out there, we know historically is Upper Factories Walk. And that is one of the most important roads to Savannah, Georgia, flat. That is our Wall Street. That's where all of our money came through back in the day. Now, the reason it got the name Upper Factories Walk, because we would bring our horse and buggies through there with all their grain and all their cotton, ship them out to the boats that way. And because those carts were so high up, our brokers, which is the people who decide how much stuff costs, couldn't actually see into the wagons that were getting shipped out. So if y'all peek out that way, we built those massive iron walkways so that our brokers could stand up there and tell them, and look down and see like, oh, that's cotton, slap the price tag on it, ship it out that way. That's how we ran our system here. That's why those iron walkways go across a lot of Savannah. At a point, 1842, around the 1840s, we started becoming a massive port, even more massive than we already were, and started moving so much actual product that we couldn't ship it all at once. Hence, the building of these 4 vaults. Anything that didn't make it onto the ships was taken, brought in here, and used for storage. Now, have all of you been to River Street?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because if you haven't, you have to. I know it's touristy, but it's touristy for a reason, guys. Come on, it's a good time. But River Street has burnt down a couple times, not all at once. You know, Savannah has this fantastic flair for the dramatic. It's burnt down in little bits and pieces. These vaults are built in 1842, 1850. That section of River Street burns down, sending hundreds of people running for their lives. Now, y'all can look at there and see that there's a lower level. It's not necessarily as easy to get far up and away over there, especially with how we built our stairs, which I'll talk about later. But a lot of those people fled into these vaults in mass numbers. Hard to blame them at the time. Back then, there would have been massive wooden doors there. These windows would have been closed and covered, and it's all brick. Nothing in here seems all that flammable. But the actual problem they ran into is how many people in mass flooded in here. Our best guess is that where you all stand now, 319 people died on that day of smoke inhalation and smothering. That is why this is the second most haunted location in all of Savannah, Georgia. Now I know I got some Southerners in the room with me, guys. And you remember we've had some hurricanes this last season. We've had some bad weather. We've had bad weather recently. These don't look all that lived in. That's because there's a wreck around these vaults in our homeless communities here in Savannah. You do not sleep here. You do not stay here. If you are new in town, you might come and stay here a night. You will be gone tomorrow. We have tours in these vaults every night. People don't sleep here. They're dry all year. It's just because the colossal amount of creepy paranormal activity that happens in these vaults. Which seems like a good time to talk to you guys about the paranormal experiences you can receive on this tour. Good opening note. If you have a paranormal experience, there is always, always, always a physical response. Something in your body is going, hey, this isn't right, this is wrong, this is weird. Some people get goosebumps, some people's hair stand up on the back of their neck. I've met people whose heads feel like they're swimming. But there is always a physical response. There's a part of your body that is telling you that this is wrong. Beyond that, there are two types of ghosts you can see on this tour. One of them, not with your eyes, with your cameras, they're called orbs. Orbs are small spherical balls of light that are either perfectly clear, totally translucent, or a little fuzzy on the inside. Orbs can only be picked up on photo and video. Now photo, it's way easier to tell. It has a trail. It is a thing of light that is moving with a trail. That doesn't just happen. Video can be a little harder because, you know, everything kind of casts a little light in video, including things like particularly shiny bugs. So, the easy way to tell the difference between a particularly shiny bug and an orb, bugs are everywhere. Most of them live like 72 hours. You know, they're here, they're there. They're not living life with that much drive and purpose. Orbs are not like that. Orbs move angularly. Orbs move with purpose. They know where they are going and they are making a choice to go there. Also, just generally, their pace is a little different. Kind of easy to tell when you know what you're looking for, but if you pick something up and you're like, kind of wonder about this, go ahead and show it to me. I might not be able to tell you exact, but I would like to see it. The other one scares the crap out of me. They're the ones you can see with your regular, normal eyes, and they are called shadow people. Now, shadow people are the milky white silhouette of a human being, and beyond that, inky, murky nothingness. Just full, inky black, surrounded by this white silhouette that looks like a human being. Those ones you can see with your eyes. Creep the shit out of me. Now, in spite of the fact that you can see those with your eyes, I'm going to tell you guys, most groups that have gone on this tour, you're not going to see them right away. Where you will find that you've seen a shadow person is when you go through your pictures tomorrow. And they will be chilling just in the background. If y'all happen to get one of those, feel free to send it into Ghost City Tours. Say, hey, Bob was my tour guide. I always love to see them. They give me a good chuckle, guys. Have you seen one? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they creep the shit out of me.
We did this 6 years ago, and yeah, it was when we went back for like videos and like our pictures. And let me say, I don't want to do this. This is my wife, okay? I'm just here, like you said, for the booze. You know, but like take as many pictures as you can because you'll see some shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Good news is 21 plus score. But yeah, usually it's going through your pictures that you took tomorrow that you're going to be like, who was this and why are they here? Always creeps me out. Always creeps me out. So,
Do they more hang out like in the crowd of people or just?
usually, I don't see them surrounded by people. I've seen them in these vaults, and I've seen them down there on Lower Factors Walk, where we're about to be headed to. But they're not all that adverse to being around a bunch of people.
It's everything built here. Like I understand, like throughout the years, they probably like have to like remodel stuff, but like this everything here, like mostly original.
Yes. Largely what we do in Savannah is historic preservation. These vaults are original, aside from a few like touch-ups. We have tried to keep everything as historically relevant as possible. This road, Upper Factors Walk, functioned as its actual purpose. We paid way too much money for those cobblestones to preserve our historic integrity. You guys are all in Savannah's historic district. That means that everything here has to go through an intensive code to get changed, moved, or renovated.
Like you like you mentioned that the little bridge right there.
Yeah.
In the building that's been there.
Generally, a lot of those are original. You know the stuff on River Street. Obviously, with the things burning down, stuff has been rebuilt, stuff has been remade. Usually when it got rebuilt so that it could continue to serve its same purpose. We haven't had a lot of River Street fires in the era where these things were historically preserved rather than like general everyday foot traffic. Alright, there's a lot of you guys, and these vaults are spectacular. Since we are the last haunted pub crawl coming through tonight, I'm going to give you all 5 minutes to stroll around here and take some pictures before you meet me outside. I'm around to take pictures, answer questions, but I'm going to step outside because these rooms creep the hell out of me, guys.
Right, so as you heard, these vaults here, a lot of people died here of smoke inhalation. Again, I am not really one that's going to watch back this video because that's just not how I edit in camera. If you see something weird here in this video, let me know in the comments below. I'm not one that's generally a let me know in the comments below kind of person. But if you see something, definitely let me know. A little creepy here.
What are you doing?
looking for orbs or shadow people or Dr. Facilier. Oh, that's New Orleans. It's a little creepy. Just a little creepy. I'm just amazed it doesn't smell like piss in here.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's the most impressive thing.
The era of respect, man.
Is that it doesn't smell like piss in here. Ghost tour. Alright. So, if you saw something in here, take another look. I don't know what you're going to see. I do have the camera on low light mode. So you should see shadows and things like that if they're actually there. Like he said, you're going to have either orbs or shadow people. I'm not seeing nothing. But I also don't believe in ghosts. Why did I say that out loud? Now the ghosts want to show themselves. I'm going to do a shot and a drink the next place because I got to catch up. I got to catch up, is what I'm saying. Maybe we'll double fist one for the ghost. I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing too scary here. But if you're seeing it on video, let me know. I'm gonna take a selfie. For the thumbnail now. But yeah, if you saw something, feel free to let me know in the comments.
Bro, no, man, no.
Wait, you saw something? You got an orb? Let me see. She got an orb?
It was shooting around all around him.
Where?
It's right on top of him.
Uh-oh.
Alright guys, it seems like we're all assembled outside the
All
walls.
right.
So if you are with Bobby on the 8 o'clock haunted pub crawl, you guys want to come down here?
Stop. I don't want to hear it.
I'm right there with you, man. The vaults terrify me like nothing else. Yeah, I don't know if y'all know this, but we have been voted the most haunted city in America here in Savannah. So the second most haunted location here is no joke. It is,
Are we going to go to the first most haunted location?
That's a different tour, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we do it at Ghost City Tours.
Oh, okay.
All right, you guys want to head with me this way?
So that's the most haunted place we're going tonight.
Yes.
Just based on number of bodies dead. Number of deaths. Number of actual deaths.
Actual death that has happened.
But we might go to some place that has like a known ghost or something like that.
Oh,
Okay.
we will. There's still some cool stuff. We have not done my favorite story.
Okay.
By a long shot.
So the company that does this does ghost tours in a bunch of cities,
Yes.
but this is known as a
This
ghost
is where
city.
we were born.
This is where it was born, and then it expanded from here.
We're heading down this creepy alley, guys.
So the corporate headquarters of it is here and everything like that, and then they've expanded to
I
New
actually
York.
don't think they're totally here anymore. A lot of people have been like dispersed.
But they started here.
Yes. And they've been dispersed to run different areas.
Oh,
basically.
okay.
Yeah.
Haunted ice maker. Haunted ice maker. Uh-oh. Maybe there is a haunted ice maker.
No, we're not quite talking about the ice maker. The street, actually.
Ah.
All right, guys, you can circle up. Anyone that wants to take a look back and see, there's also a gorgeous view of the vaults. They're a spectacular part of Savannah's history. They are 1842 old. All right, guys. Now that I got y'all here, before I get into my spiel, if you guys could form up, make sure I can see all y'all. Before I get into my spiel, I need you all to start nodding with me like we're listening to a really good song. I cannot continue until I see all of you nodding. Seeing, perfect. You all just agreed with me to not come down here unless you're in a group of people this size or larger. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, I do not say that for particularly paranormal reasons. Covered from the public, look that way, look that way. That's why I say it. Yeah, there's a larger amount of crime that happens down here than up there. Which also translates to our haunts. I'll get into that in a minute. This street here, that one up there is called Upper Factors Walk. Anyone want to take a guess where we are now?
Lower Factors Walk.
Exactly. You guys are brilliant. We're on Lower Factors Walk. And what this is actually the first pedestrian street ever built in Savannah, Georgia. So 1733, when sailors sailed up here, this would have been the sandy bank. They would have laid down planks, made into a pedestrian road, and used to make it easier to haul cargo. So, I don't know if y'all know this about Savannah. Back in the day, we were a real shit pirate town. Not Johnny Depp, not fun, real piracy was happening here. So if you can imagine, our first pedestrian street has had a pretty prolific amount of violent crime. Pirates get involved, usually there is a prolific amount of violent crime. And then it has just been in this city since 1733. Making sure they weren't coming this way. Yeah, so this street, a lot worse in terms of the vibes. Up there, the haunts are much more jovial. Upper Factors Walk is a little more fun. Things are less prone to mess with you and much more prone to just exist around you. That is not the case down here. Now, Lower Factors Walk here, I've had guests get rushed and snarled. I've had guests get scratched. Generally, if you're going to see a shadow person with your naked eye, this is where it's going to happen. This street is just mired in the absolute amount of violent crime that has happened here. And still to this day, sometimes happens here, which is why I tell y'all, do not walk down here alone. Now, this is a totally random spiel, but are any of you guys fans of the show Ozark? I love Ozark, love Patrick Bateman. Have y'all seen our Georgia Queen down there? That is the Muddy River. That is like they rented that, shot a few miles away from here, actually got some screen time. I just like to tell people that in case you're walking down River Street and see it. This whole town is a little movie set. I encourage y'all to look into it while you're in town. It's actually really fun to just walk around and be like, hey, I've seen that before. All right, that said, this street, y'all, creeps me out and kind of smells. So let's roll this way. For any of y'all wondering what these buildings are now, these doors are now, these are the back ends of the actual stores and things like that on River Street. So most people go on break back here.
Do the ghosts ever show themselves with like temperature sensations? Like hot or cold? Do they ever show themselves with temperature sensations? Or
I don't actually know. We're generally pretty consistent in our temperatures here. I usually go home for the summer. I have not worked much. We're heading up this way, guys.
Again, if you see anything, let me know in the comments. I'm not seeing nothing. But if you see one of them shadow people, let me know in the comments there.
You don't mind circling up around here? Alright, so I'm about to make you guys the best promise any Georgia tour guide or any Savannah tour guide has ever made. Last set of stairs. Because these things are known as the stairs of death, otherwise known as our historic stairs. Have any of you guys walked them yet? Alright, so you know they kind of suck. They're kind of awful. Well, for my first 3 years living here before I got this job, I thought that as a city, we sucked at making stairs and hated fixing things. Not the case. These stairs actually have a huge historical relevancy to our foundings as a port town. Now, y'all can look that way and see that we're a port town, because that's the beautiful River Street right down there. What being a port town means in the 1700s, 1800s, is that you're getting sacked and raided all the time. You pull up, dock a boat right there, hop on shore, grab what they need, hop back out. Extremely easy to gain access to this. So what we did is we adopted a military tactic from our friends over in Europe, and we built our stairs like this. Science tells us that it takes you exactly 4 steps for your brain to hardwire, know the height it needs to reach to get to the next one. That's why lights on, lights off, you can fly up and down your stairs at home. So what we did is we built stairs that vary in height as you go up or down them. Now, if you live here and you knew that's how we did it, and you knew that strategy, you were flying up those stairs. If you were a pirate, mostly looking up at the person you're chasing, and you hadn't been here before, you're eating concrete. I like to bring you guys to this set of our historic stairs because I like to call them the least mean ones. Where you'll really notice it, guys, take real stock of how that top step is just drastically different than everything else we have built here. And very intentionally different, too. I know the suspicion of like, well, do we just suck at making stairs? There is a whole brick of difference. There is a whole calculated difference between the top step and every other step you will take on these stairs. That in mind, please be careful, y'all. What's that up?
Well, this is annoying.
That's the. No, for years I just thought we were terrible at making stairs, and then I was like,
I just thought they were.
well, now I'm confused as to why we've kept the stairs that we designed to kill people, but we did.
I was actually really
Turn them into
Go ahead and just step up and see if you can see that bottom step. You can visually see here the difference between those first few and then the quick change.
So the bottom step is like only one brick?
The bottom step is meant to, so these ones, they're way higher in depth and they're way closer together. And then when you get up here, they widen.
So it just messes with your brain?
Yeah, it's literally all it's designed to do is throw that brain chemistry off for just a second. But if you're running away from someone, just
But the idea is once you know they're that, then you'll
then you're good.
look.
Exactly.
So this is for people that came on the shore and
And
invaded.
you wouldn't have noticed because they're chasing someone up. And it only throws you off for a second, maybe. But that second is the difference between you catching someone right here and that person being gone. So, old school military safety tactic we adopted from Europe.
Oh, is this a stop?
No, it is not.
Oh.
The Yield Tobacco Shop is not.
Oh.
Yeah, as y'all pass down there, just take a peek. See if you can see the bottom step. I have y'all center here.
Oh, good God. Are we going on that bridge? I don't know about this bridge.
You want me to go?
Excuse me, Captain Bobby.
What's up? My major? Performing arts. I was an actor.
And what do you want to do with that?
I want to be a stand-up comedian.
My man.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a joke.
No. And I got a laugh.
It's pretty solid.
Now, you guys have to have a few more drinks before I'm funny. But,
That one was. That little
Well, thank
exchange.
you.
I mean, you can use that. That was a
But-
tour.
as we pass by that second set of stairs, guys, this is the part of the night I like to say, if you feel the need to find your way back down to River Street, do. It's a great time, even in the evening. But we have two perfectly good regular sets of stairs that we didn't militarily design to hurt people down that way. Just take those, guys, especially since we're all going to continue to drink. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, run this way. I'm on the clock.
Oh wow, this is pretty cool.
I love this bridge.
So this is one of the bridges like the other one where they look over and see.
Yeah. Well, no, this one wouldn't be. This was just passage.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the lock bridge. No, these.
Is this like that secret thing that like you like lock a secret? Or something?
No,
this
it's
is
the
romance
love lock.
Please don't do that though, because
It can make the bridge collapse.
Exactly. Thank you, my guy. Because this bridge is extremely old, and I love the view coming off it. But we've had so many locks at some point it started to wear down the ironworking of the bridge.
Okay.
So if we keep doing it, we won't be able to keep using the bridge.
Right, right. I feel like as I've gotten older, I definitely have a little bit more appreciation for like things like this, and like sightseeing and stories and stuff. So, like I remember when I was younger, my parents would like take me with me.
I was looking for food wrecks. I've heard two cracked eggs is actually really good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What is it? It smells like food right now.
All right.
All right.
I always like to recommend it to people. It's not part of our tour. The 208 Wine Bar comes directly recommended from my girlfriends. And it's a little nicer than the taste I got.
You said it's a wine bar?
Yeah, 208 Wine Bar.
That's something you would like to do.
Uh-oh, creepy stuff.
Let the rest of us catch up. I gotta talk to y'all about the spot behind me. So, welcome y'all. This place behind me is actually a bar. They don't have any signage, but they're a little bar called Fontaine's. They get most of their business solely by working with ghost tour guides and ghost tour groups like us. That's why most of us... What'd you say? Well, that's why most of us like to take you guys here, because I've lived in Savannah at this point going on 5 years, and until I got this job, I never heard of this bar. So y'all get to do something that most people that are Savannah locals don't even hear about or don't even do. This bar is fantastic. It's run by fantastic Savannah locals themselves, and as an added bonus, it also happens to be extremely haunted. Yeah.
Weird.
So, I refer y'all back to River Street burning down a couple times. Remember we talked about that before? So, when this section of River Street burns down, or any, what do you do back in the day? You know, you can't exactly go to 1800s Home Depot, and 1800s Lowe's is closed on Sundays. So, you go to the shipyard. And what they did for this particular building is go to the shipyard, grab a captain's mast for support, and run it top to bottom floor of this building. There is an original captain's mast still in this location, and because we're in the second floor where it's skinnier, it is so inconspicuous, I guarantee you could almost walk in there and not notice it. Yeah, you would if you hadn't heard the spiel. So, the captain's mast, for you guys who don't know, is like the principal's office of a ship. It's where all the disciplinary action was handed down. Now, something that's a little unique about Savannah, have y'all all been sort of into our downtown area, seen our big mansions, our big manors?
Yeah.
Well, unlike the rest of the South, those aren't largely plantation owners. I don't get it twisted, they had slaves, this was the South around that time. But mostly they were ship owners who made that money. This land is not good for farming, it is swamp. But we're a great shipping port, so these guys managed to make their millions that way. Apparently, owning a ship at the time was great, so long as you never interacted with it. If you were the captain of this ship, the highest ranking person, unless you were the owner, of course, you were the captain, you knew that the guys back here, these owners, they did not play around with their money. If you were late on a delivery, if you were late getting back, you'd get home and about 2-3 days later, you'd disappear and no one would ever find you. So if you can imagine, with that mounting workplace pressure, they were not exactly the kindest to their crew. In fact, it was so bad that they couldn't fully staff their ships. So, enlisted the help of one of the oldest buildings in Savannah, the Pirate's House. Have you guys been?
Yep.
So the Pirate's House, what they used to do, they'd get young men in, get them extremely hammered, so much so that they're blacking out drunk, drop them through a trap door in the floor, you get carted out, and now you've been shanghaied. You pass out drunk, wake up hungover on a boat. Best or worst hangover ever. All mentality. Yeah, back in the day, you actually used to be able to see the trapdoor. Back in like the 70s, you used to be able to see the trapdoor. They had a little dummy in the pit. Safety reasons, we have now closed that. But life on the ship was terrible. And with most of their workers being shanghaied, not everyone really was wanting to work for you. So the way that they found to get people to work was on that captain's mast. Now, have we all seen like the movie clip of the sailor bound around a mast with his arms behind his back and he's just baking in the sun and it looks all gross? Kind of familiar imagery? Oh my God, you wish you were that guy. No, what actually happened is the captain takes your shirt off, bounds you around the mast like you're giving it a big old bear hug, and busts out something called a cat of nine tails.
Yep.
Yeah, for those of y'all who don't know what this is, go ahead and imagine the handle of a tennis racket in your hand. We've all held a tennis racket before. That's about the handle of this thing, and off of that comes 9 strips of leather, braided into 3s, connected by steel balls at each end. Captain binds you. First lash takes skin, second's tearing muscle, third's cracking bone, and he did it until his arm got tired. Now, if you somehow managed to survive the absolutely brutal beating, it was so far from over. What happened next? They cut you down, wrapped you in fabric, and did a little something called keel hauling. You know what keel hauling is? Fabulous. At least some of you do. So, ties you off to the boat with that fabric, throws you in the water, Now I get to talk to you guys about a little bit of physics. When something that large is moving through the water, it creates a current, because the water it's displaced, that pulls things around it down. Now, yourself wants to float. All the air in your body and all the air in the fabric you've been wrapped in wants to go up. The boat wants to pull you down. Now, under that boat, there are barnacles. For those of y'all who have never had the displeasure of scraping barnacles, let me go ahead and tell you, they're sharp. They are super, super sharp. So you get put through, as you get pulled up and down against these barnacles, what I have lovingly dubbed the human cheese grater. As the force of your actual body and the bag you're in pulls you up, and the force of the ship pulls you down, and you rolled around the bottom of the ship until finally, mercifully, you die. Body releases all the air it has, float up to the surface, captain cuts you loose, and everyone else on the ship goes, well, shit. Yeah, I guess we're working today. And that's how they maintain control on these boats. So if you can imagine, the captain's mast running straight through the middle of this place contains a profound amount of death, suffering, and anguish attached to it, which has led this place to be extremely haunted. Now, those two good old Savannah boys that I told you about that bought and renovated this place, one of them still lives here, actually up there. And he has all sorts of fun haunted stories that we've been told. Now, we have seen shadow people in this place, particularly up in that window right there. But I think Chris's stories are actually far more interesting. What Chris has told us is that he's heard strange things in the night. The countless stories I have heard about this man in his bar, in his underwear, with his gun and his flashlight, like, who the hell is there? It's a lot, guys. He has felt things pass through him, and what I think is the scariest, when he goes to sleep at night, he's felt this intense weight pushing down on his chest. Now, interestingly enough for you guys, I don't claim to be a psychologist, I just claim to be a nerd who likes ghosts. Interestingly enough, basically every night for the first year he lived here, something like that would happen. He would have some sort of strange, unexplainable paranormal experience. But Chris has lived here going on 3 years now. And what he started telling us is they're fewer and far between the longer he's there. Like this ghost has somehow thrown up its hands and gone, I guess I have a roommate. All right. I've had guests experience haunts here. Comical at that. A man was trying to go into the bathroom. Door was cracked open. As he reaches for it, the thing slams shut. He's like, all right, I'll wait. Waits the whole time we're in the bar. So we're just about to leave. I'm hollering. He's like, let me just run to the bathroom. He tries to check that door. And it pops right open. He's been looking at it the whole time. There's no one there. This ghost just kind of wanted to fuck with him. So, jiggle the handles in the bathroom and lock the doors. All right, you guys ready to go in and get a drink? Because I promise you no longer have to tolerate me without liquor. Well, thank you.
Is there a certain like cocktail or something they make here that you would recommend, or just get what you want?
Peach sangria.
The peach sangria?
I'm more of a beer guy generally, but the peach sangria is delicious.
So this place doesn't even like have a sign or really exist on Google Maps or anything like that?
They used to have a bar sign there, but even that they've taken down. Doing good of yourself.
All right. All right, so I got 2 drinks at this bar. We got the Beach Street River Street Lager. And I'm going to show you the mast. Let me show you the mast real quick. I got a River Street Lager. It's good. I assume it's from here. Or there's a brewery that was right next to where we started that's closed now. And I'll show you the mast real quick. Here's the mast. So it's probably that window. And then it gets smaller up at the top. When is this from? Like the 1800s?
Yeah. This is like
I thought you could see me. I was like, now I'm the ghost.
What? I almost did. I thought you were in good.
Is it actually structural too?
Oh yeah, this is way very at least as far as my understanding of architecture in modern day.
Huh?
I'm sure far less so than it was many decades ago.
And he said, this window here. Take a peek out real quick. All right, not too long because we're not going to be near all that copyright music, but yeah, that's a pretty interesting look out at the out at the river. See if there's anything else. I'm gonna go finish our drinks real quick. We'll finish one of the drinks. That is just a janitor closet. Nothing more. But yeah, this is the mast where they did the lashings. Pretty damn solid there. Pretty damn solid.
So, where we stand now is Reynolds Square. Reynolds Square is one of 22 of these adorable little squares scattered throughout Savannah. I recommend seeing absolutely all of them. But while we're here, I want to talk to you all about some particularly interesting parts of Savannah's history. That sound good? Yep. So, I've alluded to it a couple times to a couple of you. Have you guys heard independently that Savannah is a massive graveyard?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to talk to you all about why that is. Now, if you want to corroborate my story, talk to any construction worker around here. It's not a matter of if you will find bones. It is when and how old are they. So, way back in the day, I got to talk to you guys about 1733. Back in that day, there was actually, this land was owned by a Native American tribe. But the forming of Savannah is very different than a lot of how Europeans interacted with Native American tribes. So, several miles west of here, there was a Creek tribe. And not long before John Oglethorpe and his men got here, there was a schism amongst these men. Like a split, an idealistic split. They split on ideals, and one half of them, led by one of their chiefs, broke off from his tribe under the ideals of these European people. They're coming. There's nothing we can do about that. So we just have to find a way to coexist before they wipe us out entirely. Came here, and obviously, that creates a little conflict between him and his tribe. Now, him and his people are posted up on a part of their land that they no longer have access to, operating under totally different ideals than the rest of his tribe. So, conflict is brewing. A conflict this chief knows he cannot win. He has less men, he has less weapons, he's in a little bit of trouble. Now, on the other side of that is John Oglethorpe, who needs to bear fruit from this expedition. He needs to find a town that can be turned into a port. He needs to find something that can be used as a shipping lane in this side of America. So, fortuitously for both of them, John Oglethorpe arrives here, sees that this can be used as a shipping lane, and he is greeted with a whole row of Native Americans with weapons, and then ushered off his ship, because to them, this is the best thing that could happen. Oh my God, this white guy just showed up with a bunch of dudes and guns. We're set. And that's what happened. They formed a partnership. Savannah is one of the few towns I've seen where our state crest is a Native American chief and a white European guy shaking hands. Because they did. They got shit done. They built this city, John Oglethorpe and this chief. Absolutely constructed it from the ground up and lived kind of harmoniously through it. Obviously, there's a little bit of schism back and forth there, a little bit of fighting, but generally squashed when the people with cannons and things like that showed up. Now, these guys became tight. Like, this is a bromance for the ages, John Oglethorpe and this chief. So much so that when this chief passed on, he was a little older than John. When he passed, he called for John Oglethorpe to be brought to his deathbed. When he was brought there, he revealed to him how they got this land and the reason that the other tribe kind of just sunk cost in it, like they were like, it's done, it's whatever. He reveals to him that this land was originally their burial ground. So, under all of Savannah, under a large chunk of the city, is bones from the original Native American burial ground. Now, y'all notice that our cobblestone kind of sucks? It's pretty terrible. If you haven't, you will. Our cobblestone has a tendency to pop up and just stay there, erode entirely. And now, a large amount of that is roots, a large amount of that is time. A non-negligible percent of why our streets and our stones suck so much is because there are bodies buried in the ground, and when bones and a corpse decompose in a swamp, that creates an air pocket that pops up the ground above it. So, if you're anything like me, and when you kick that stone, and you go, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to anyone ever, it could be a little worse. Yeah, that is one of the ways Savannah is a massive graveyard. I know you guys are thinking, how many ways is this ass clown about to tell us that Savannah's a massive graveyard? 2. After this, I'm done, I promise. So, this city is not very big, y'all. I don't know if you've noticed, we're about 3 by 2 miles. But under this city is 8 miles worth of winding tunnels. Now, originally, we built those tunnels to transport slaves. They'd come straight off the docks, get brought through those tunnels, and brought up into our larger hotels and businesses. But then the Emancipation Proclamation happens. So, can't do that anymore. So we start slinging alcohol through there. But these tunnels actually found a third use, and it has to relate to malaria, yellow fever as it was known at the time. Now, when these settlers got here, most of them had come from Europe. Europe, who just a few generations before it had, refresh my memory, a plague of some sort, if we recall? Yeah, a pretty decent plague of some sort. So, when people start throwing up blood and dying, you take that shit pretty seriously. So, not unlike what they did in Europe during the bubonic plague, they brought around a cart. Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead! Gather them on the cart, because if you died of malaria, someone knew, you had a family member, a friend, somebody knew that was happening. They come and collect you. They wrap you in fabric, take you right here to Reynolds Square, and they burn you, because you guys are now standing in Savannah, Georgia's first ever crematorium. Now, back to those tunnels. Eventually, it becomes inconvenient to burn bodies in a public park. Believe it or not a huge tourist pull. So, what we start doing instead is we take our malaria-riddled bodies and we stuff them down into those 8 miles of tunnels, and now we have 8 miles of crypt. So, Native American graveyard on top, 8 miles of malaria-riddled crypt underneath. Oh yeah, very, very full of that amount of death, which is why, largely, Savannah earned its rep as the most haunted city in America. Because that creates what I like to call the base level haunt, where even if nothing fucked up happened in your house, fucked up shit happened there a long time ago, and now it's gonna be slightly weird regardless. Y'all, I live in a shitty duplex, and my lights will flick on and off at 4 in the morning for no reason, and I will hear random noises very rarely upon occasion. It's just kind of a thing here. That's how we got our rep, guys.
How is John and James Oglethorpe related?
James, sorry, was I calling him John?
No, there's a John and there's a James. How are they related?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not super
My
familiar.
bad.
No, you're all good.
I didn't mean to call you out. Sorry.
No, I appreciate it. I'll have to look into that. Thank you.
Is that what Oglethorpe is? That avenue,
Yeah.
that street is after
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Because James, I think it says, according to Google, is the founder of Georgia. Because we were curious about Oglethorpe. Sorry, so that's how we
I might have been just misspeaking. I think
No, because then we Googled John.
There you go. Well, thank
There's
you.
also John. So
I'd say, because I'm under the
curious,
impression
were
that
they
it's
like
John,
brothers?
but I could totally mix up those J names. I'm a little dyslexic. All right, y'all. What's up?
Does anybody know the name of the chief?
The Chief? Yes. It is a name that I can't pronounce super well, so I don't like to say it on tour, but I do encourage you to look it up. I just don't want to butcher it extremely publicly and look like a jackass. All right, let's head that way. Plus, with the amount of bones in the ground, I don't want any vibes following me home. All right. So, I was just talking to some of you about our restored theaters. Back there, that one, the Lucas. The Lucas just had its 100th birthday. It's very, very old at this point. SCAD renovated it. Now it is an actual theater again, same trustees there. But the third theater that got restored on this block is the Savannah Tap House, and is now a bar. Any of my sports fans out there, this bar was at one point owned by Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just random trivia for you guys. But I did not bring you here to talk about the Tap House. I just like to promise you drinks so you guys know that you're still getting where you're at. So, I'm actually here to talk to you guys about probably my favorite story and probably my favorite building in this whole city, the Marshall House. Now, the Marshall House is gorgeous. I mean, that thing is jam-packed with about as much Southern charm as I think you can put into a single building. So some important context about this place. It cannot make the claim of being our first hotel, but what it can make the claim of is being our first kind of legitimate hotel. 1730s, we're doing business with pirates. You know, there doesn't have to be a lot of great places to stay in this city, as long as you can sleep. 1800s comes around, different story. We've got guys in suits doing business here. We're a massive trading lane, so we need a legitimate hotel. Well, Mary Marshall says, I have the land, I have the money, so she oversees the construction of the Marshall House. Now, For any of you guys who are kind of architecture nerdy like me, Mary Marshall did a lot in this city, and you can tell if she had her hand in a building if it has that specific ironworking, the grates, or any of the fish head rain gutters. That's how you know Mary Marshall had her hand in some buildings. Now, she was like the godmother of Savannah, Georgia. I mean, this woman, this house, this building has been an orphanage, it has been a wartime hospital, it has been a hotel. She has done so much for this town. 1800s, the Marshall House is constructed. It remains as a hotel until 1849. 1849, it shuts down. The Marshall House lay dormant for many years and ended up in the 20th century. We go, well, we got to renovate this. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's freaking gorgeous. So we start to go through the Marshall House, restoring it floor by floor by floor. You get through the first floor, second, third. Easy breezy. You're restoring an old piece of history. It's beautiful. Fourth floor, things get a little different. Get to the fourth floor, very specifically, a couple of rooms. In those rooms, you go in to actually clean them, and the floors are covered, I mean caked, coated in dried blood. Yep. So, what are you gonna do? You scrape the blood, you bleach it, you go home, you know tomorrow you gotta rip all those floorboards out. So tomorrow's gonna suck. Now, I'd like to paint y'all a picture with me if you could rock with me for a second. Imagine with me, you're showing up to your construction job. It's 6 in the morning. The blood thing happened yesterday, that was weird, but hopefully we can just move on and be fine. You go in, you pull up the first one of your floorboards, and in there is this strange bundle of fabric. It's not like any insulation you've ever seen before. You pull it out, and before you can get out the words, what the hell do you think this is? An arm rolls out. And then a leg. And as you go through the floorboards of these rooms, 413, 414, and 415, there are packed under all of these boards with these bundles of fabrics containing arms and legs. Strangely, no heads, no torsos. Nothing that would indicate a corpse. Obviously, the police get called. We get forensics up in here. We're like, why are there a bunch of limbs buried in the floor of the Marshall House? And the all-important question of finding bones in Savannah, do we have to care? Is it old enough? Because, you know, sometimes you got to look into those and go, is this a recent murder or is this something way beyond? So, to tell you guys how the bones got there, I got to take you way back. We all familiar with General Sherman?
March of the Sea?
Yes. Sherman was second to Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War, and he was the one who did Sherman's March to the Sea. Now, for my folks that know, Sherman gets to Atlanta. What does he do there? Somebody
Kills a bunch of people.
burns it to the ground, but pretty much, yeah, burns that whole city to the ground. So, Sherman burns Atlanta, then goes, eeny, meeny, miny, Savannah, and starts to march his 65,000 men, what is a 4.5-hour drive from Atlanta to here. Now, the city of Savannah catches wind of this and goes, hell no. And there's a mass exodus from this city. People are fleeing by and large. No one wants what happened in Atlanta to happen to them. But Sherman was a little smarter than that, guys. I mean, you don't get to be second to Abraham Lincoln without being a bit of a tactician. He sends ahead a message with one of his men saying, hey, we're not going to burn down Savannah. We don't want to do that. Why? We like it here. Why do we want to burn down Savannah? And you know, now if you're the Confederacy, you're confused. Because, like, why? You just burnt down Atlanta. Is he scared of us all of a sudden? No. This guy's second to Abraham Lincoln. He's not scared of shit. What he was a tactician. We've talked about it a few times, guys. You got any guess as to why Sherman didn't want to burn down Savannah?
Does he want to use people as slaves?
Nope. Ports. Exactly. We're a massive port town. Clearly he was right. We're one of the largest ports in the United States to this day. So, him and his men march here. And the story we like to tell in Savannah is that Sherman was so overtaken with the beauty of our city, just enraptured, that he just couldn't do it. Now, obviously, that is not true. This guy has killed people. Come on, he's a military general. But there is some truth to it. Sherman was taken with the beauty of our city, so much so that that year, for Christmas, he decided to gift it to Abraham Lincoln. Merry Christmas, Mr. President. Here's the city of Savannah. Claimed it, gave it to the president. Now he's gained even better favor with the president and gone, now your town is ours. Belongs to us. But Have any of you guys made the drive between Atlanta and Savannah? So, my people that have made it, you guys know we're talking about like 80% swamp. Mostly, you're just trudging through swamp. So, these 65,000 men making a 4.5-hour drive on foot through about 80% swamp, by the time they get here, they're not in a great spot. Most of these young men are emaciated, some of them have trench foot, and in their worst case, you got it, they're gangrenous. Now, for my friends that don't know what gangrene means, that's the flesh of your body has started to slowly eat away at the rest of you. Not a great time. And the solution for that in the Civil War happens to be cut it off. So, remember when I said this building was a wartime hospital? Sherman takes it over, and they decide that the 4th floor, to appease the other guests, will become the amputation floor. Now, there are so many of these young men in such dire straits. They're moving through these young men at such speed and such volume that all they're doing is cutting a limb, wrapping it in fabric, stomping that shit into the ground, and moving on. Like, you're here, your limb's gone, you're out. They're not even stopping to clean the blood off the floor, guys. So, if y'all can imagine, not everyone survives a Civil War amputation. Not everyone survives a modern day amputation. That one has anesthetic and a scalpel. This one had a saw and whiskey for the doctor. Not a great sight, guys. So a lot of these young men lost their lives in those wars, leading to the Marshall House being one of the more haunted buildings in Savannah. Now, what people have reported that aren't staying on the 4th floor is seeing shadow people hobble down steps, missing a leg, attempting to open doors or drawers with arms that they simply do not have. But I've never heard that. That's amazing. Well, maybe not me, but someone slightly faster. But if you sign the several-page waiver required to stay in one of those rooms on floor 4, you get to have a totally new experience. What people have reported is that while you lay in there at night, the comforters of your bed start to slowly creep up your legs till about yay high. And they've reported feeling a cold, clammy, icy touch wrap around their leg and rub up and down their leg like this ghost just wants to rip that leg off you and put it back on it. So, that said, anyone want to stay at the Marshall House? Yeah. Always one. I bet he does. And you let me know how it goes. But why don't we go get you guys a drink? Because all that amputation talk, I'm sure, made you thirsty. We're heading this way to the bar, guys.
Hey, all I can say is my little $41 Airbnb, the Inn on Interstate 17, is looking better and better with each of these stories. I'm glad I'm not actually staying in Savannah. That's all I'm saying. I'm glad I'm not actually staying in Savannah. It's not haunted. It's not nothing. It's just like got trailer park people at it. And yeah. Right, so we are at the tap house now that he was talking about in the last clip.
There's Smith again.
Ooh, it's a nice brown ale. Localish. I don't remember the name of it. That's not on the receipt. I just have a credit card receipt. But localish.
Working his way into the end zone. And the fans.
It's a bit too heavy to chug. That's a pretty good brown ale. Yeah. What's this? Beer's from here. Oh. Where's a different beer? I guess that's the state of Georgia. Or the county here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the shape exactly.
It's hard for them to come back. We knew they were going to come back and do something. They're too good to not scoring.
Yep, bucket specials. PBR. I bought a 12-pack of PBR last night for like $8 in Greensboro, Georgia. That's a pretty interesting ghost tour so far. And again, I'm happy I'm staying outside of town in a little tiny place that all I got to worry about is meth, not ghosts.
190 over here. I'm gonna tell you all the stories about this place, then try to get you into the bar. I'm gonna inform you of something now. This is one of the few bars on this tour that will turn people away if they're too crowded. I got another bar. Have no fear. There are plenty of them in this town. We're a very drunk city. Yeah, right? There's definitely more, trust me. But it's a nice, classy spot with a lot of historical significance to the city, so I like to leave y'all here because it is gorgeous.
Hearse? Classy.
Yeah, it's a hearse.
Okay.
They do hearse tours. They park near my house in my neighborhood. It's creepy.
Seriously, hearse tour?
Yeah.
Are they all crammed into a hearse?
Oh, yeah.
Problem is I'd probably nap the whole thing. 854 fucking shit.
And y'all, like, this is the real only spot that you see them on this tour, so we don't let you know that you could have not walked this whole time until the end.
See, that was a good freaking joke. That was good.
So, 1790 here. 1790 here is one of our older buildings. It's a very old inn. Talk to y'all about the architecture a little bit. It's speculated that the first floor of this building survived the Great Savannah Fire of 1820. So that was when a lot of this town got engulfed in flames. The floors above it did not survive that fire, but because of its brick and structural soundness, it's speculated that it actually did survive those fires. Then the rest of the building was refinished in the 1830s, came full-on inn again. Now, I like to take you guys to 1790 because every ghost story I have for you guys on this tour, it's like a mass haunt, a mass graveyard, a mass event. This is 3 distinct individual people. And I just like to end on that. So, all right, show of hands, who likes a good love story? I do, you can be honest. Yeah. This is almost that, not quite. I'd say more like CNN romance. So.
I like 50 Shades of Grey.
Of course you would.
So,
Put it out there. Good job.
what we got here, guys, the most famous ghost from this building is a woman named Anne. Now, Anne would have stayed here in the early 1800s, but she was brought up right on that river to be part of an arranged marriage to a wealthy Savannah ship owner. Now, she would have stayed right at around 1790, and ironically, while she was there, she falls head over heels in love with a sailor. So came here to marry a ship owner, falls in love with a sailor.
Don't we all?
Right? Can't blame her. But y'all know sailors are in and out. They're here for a week and then they're gone. It's like dating a pilot. You just don't do it. Yeah, no, they're here and then they're gone. So it's said that she falls so massively in love with this sailor that when he left, she just couldn't bear it. And now around Halloween, they have a mannequin up in that middle window over there, because what's said is that as she watched the tip of his sail exit out into the sea, and those buildings weren't there at the time, that was a clear line of sight, she flung herself out of that window, landing on the rigid concrete below and dying.
This building?
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Now,
Shut up.
we can't corroborate this exactly historically, but I like to invite speculation. Weird thing for a ghost tour guide to do. But we can say that she fell so in love with this guy in a week that she killed herself, which is the story that people were told, or much more likely, in my opinion, she was brought here to marry a very wealthy ship owner and then fell in love with a sailor after he spent a lot of money bringing her here. So 2 and 2 makes pushed. Yeah. So a lot of the dialogue around Anne is whether or not she chose to kill herself because she just couldn't bear the heartbreak, or if her bitter husband-to-be pushed her out that window.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Well, we know the romance stories you like.
No 50 Shades there.
I'm sorry, I don't love that.
Middle window right up
It's
there.
history, so
They
I
actually
do
have a
love
mannequin in there around October. Which,
Shut up, really?
oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Something there now.
Don't push
There
it
might
out.
still be.
Yeah, that's a mannequin.
Oh, man, they're still... That's creepy. Wow, they've left that up for a while.
There's something right there.
But Anne's haunt on that floor, you know, do things that mess with electricity. I've actually had a group staying there, which they were like, oh, this is the best. You've walked us home. But they got their full room comped because as they walked into the first room there, nowhere else on the floor did it happen. All the power cuts in their entire room on that 3rd floor.
Awesome.
The hotel freaks out and goes, we have townhouses. Come stay in those. And that was how the rest of their trip went. So yeah, Anne, well, looked a little like this, but yeah. Anne roams that 3rd floor. That is her zone. Now, The second ghost here is actually the ghost we know the least about on this tour. We don't know their name. We don't know how they died. What we do have is the testimony of kitchen staff, past and present. They've reported to us is hearing pots and pans clang while they're cooking in there, because we got a kitchen ghost, y'all. Things have been moved around, misplaced. Drawers will be opened and closed, full slam. And what I think is the funniest thing, while they're cooking, spices have been known to come flying off the shelves at them. At the right moment, that is ratatouille with ghosts. Oh yeah, ghost says I need paprika. I'm putting paprika in that shit. No questions asked. But that ghost we know the very least about, except for that they make the life of the kitchen staff hell.
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna steal that. So, the last one is a little boy named Thomas, and Thomas is like our Casper the Friendly Ghost of this tour. Thomas is allowed to be fun because I don't know how Thomas died, and no one does, so that's the way that little boy ghosts can be fun.
Yeah.
But Thomas reporting presence, people that have interacted with this spirit feel this unnatural warmth in their soul. Now try to imagine for a second uncomfortable comfort. Comfort, but to an inexplainable moment or an inexplainable degree. That's what you're dealing with Thomas. And what I think is absolutely freaking adorable, he's been known to leave little pennies around on tables in there. Ask me, terrible tipper. Oh yeah.
Damn, there's a lot of groups.
There is. Oh, they're just getting started. So, I want to take y'all in there, drop you off, but I got two final housekeeping things. One, to tell you guys, I can take tips. Venmo and Cash App, they're obviously greatly appreciated. Y'all know I'm freshly 21, so let's be real. Your tips are largely my bar tab and way more largely my power bill. Thank you.
Where are we going drinking after this?
Right in there. But the other one,
First one's on me, bro. I got you.
I gotta run home. Apologies, but thank you. But the other thing is, you guys will get an email from Ghost City Tours. If you've had a good time, my name is Bobby. If you have not had a good time, Cassandra. Got it?
Cassandra.
Sounds good. All right. Well, let's head this way and see if we can get you guys in here. And remember, guys, if we can't get you into this bar, I got another bar I'm gonna take you to. So do not fret.
So this last bar they seem to drop us at seems to be the best. I got a shot and a beer for $10. Given what we've paid the whole time, that's good. This is a key lime pie shot. Okay, looks like they pre-mixed it. Oh, that's good. That's really good. And a beer too. Yeah, that's good. Give me a minute and I'll wrap up this tour for you. You know, I was going to finish my beer in there, and then I forgot. Well, we're in open container land here in Savannah. You can just walk the street with a beer. So let's talk about that ghost tour. That was pretty cool. I learned a lot. $30 a person for the main tour, which is what the company's getting. Then I left a $10 tip to the tour guide. So, you know, you're looking at $40 a person if you want to be realistic. Now, none of the drinks are included. And some of the drinks are a little pricier than others. This last bar is fantastic. Save yourself for the last bar. And it's fantastic. You also notice there were an assload of hearses driving around here. Don't know where the hearses came from. Where did they go? Where did they come from? Cotton Eye Joe. But the last bar we went to, cheapest drinks of the night. We're going to continue on and explore this town. But for those of you that are here for the review of the spooky pub crawl, I give it thumbs up. You get to see the whole thing. Well, the thing is, each of the tours is different, dependent on the guide who does the tour. So, I'm gonna finish the beer on my walk to my next bar. If you want to check what's going on, check out the Savannah vlog, because I still got 10 o'clock, 3-4 more hours here to kind of explore. And like me, when you wear no pants, the only thing you got left to lose is a shirt. Check out the haunted pub crawl if you want an interesting way to see the most haunted city in America.